So I recently uploaded a complete 1-year review of my Eufy camera system, and to say I was impressed was a bit of an understatement. I definitely consider them the benchmark A+ company of security cameras right now on the market. But I do realize that these cameras come with a hefty price tag, something that not everybody will be able to afford. So AOSU contacted me and they said, hey, we have this 4-camera kit. They're solar cameras. And this reminded me a lot of the 4-camera Eufy kit I have. It comes with some sort of Homebase and they have built-in solar panels. But the biggest difference was they are almost 3 times cheaper. So we have to ask ourselves, a kit that is 3 times cheaper, can it even give out a fraction of the quality that those more expensive kits are offering? And that's the question we're gonna answer today. So you get 4 of these giant, completely rotatable pan and tilt cameras with a built-in solar panel. Each camera comes with this removable mount that you can mount on the outside of your house. And it only takes 3 screws. They give you 4 charging cables, 1 for each camera. That's a little redundant. AOSU, I would probably just give 1. You get an Ethernet cord, which you're gonna need for your Homebase. We'll talk about this a little later in the video. And lastly, your power adapter for your Homebase. Now that we have that sorted, let's get into the setup and installation process. Now the first thing you want to do is take your Homebase. And from here, we're going to power it up by taking our power cord, putting it in the Homebase, and plugging it in. And luckily, it's a decent length. From there, you want to take your Ethernet cord, plug that into your Homebase, and run it directly up to your router or modem. You might have to get a separate one that's a little bit longer. Now go ahead and connect the app and scan your Homebase with the QR code. Mine automatically connected. Now we have to head over to our cameras. Homebase, super easy to set up. But now we have to set up all 4 of the cameras and it all kind of intersyncs together. And we're gonna get into the Homebase in the next section. Now press and hold the power button inside of each camera.
Hello. 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 Hello.
That setup process actually surprised me with how quick and easy it was. Now to talk about this little thing, the Homebase. Basically think of this as a hub. All of your cameras that you have connected are relaying their signals back to this device. And if you noticed, you didn't have to input any Wi-Fi passwords. And that's because you have this direct Ethernet connection that runs from your Homebase all the way up to your router or modem. And this is then relaying that Wi-Fi all the way out to your cameras. And that's one thing I really want to test is how much range is the Homebase going to give these cameras. So I have this shed that is around 20 feet from my house. We're gonna see if we can actually get one of these solar cameras all the way out there and be able to use it. Now the next thing the Homebase does is it allows you to store footage. So this actually comes with 32 gigabytes of local storage. And that means any instances or anything that happens on your cameras will be saved. Now they say 32 gigabytes will give you around 120 days, but in my experience, if you're using these cameras a lot, it's activating a lot with a lot of instances, it wouldn't be 120 days. But even if we discount that, it still will overwrite itself. So even if it's only 60 days, that footage will still continue to run and save. But this is my biggest problem with their Homebase. They didn't include any sort of micro SD slot, which means you can't expand the storage on it. To me, that makes no sense. There is no reason not to include a little micro SD slot on here. At the very least, that would allow users to double their storage with a simple 32 gigabyte micro SD card. And the only reason you wouldn't add that option is if you want to push people towards your cloud storage. Which if you watch my EasyViz video, I never suggest the cloud storage. I think it's a big ripoff. And if they want you to purchase it, they should at least give you the ability to expand the internal storage. So let's set up a few of these cameras and really check out the range and the quality of them. The camera's brackets are pretty quick to install. It's just 3 screws, plus they give you some drywall inserts if you need it. And after that, just slide your camera in and that's all you have to do. Now I set up 2 of the cameras, one on the side of my fence right near the house. And the other one we set up all the way in my shed to see if I could actually get a connection that far from the Homebase. And I'll show you how far that is. So we're all the way over here across my yard. I would say at least a good 20 to 30 feet. And that's where the Homebase is, right in that little window where you see the arrow. I did not think that this camera was going to be able to reach all the way to my shed because I've had issues before with Wi-Fi connections that far. But the Homebase, it definitely gives it a much needed boost. And in fact, my camera actually has a really strong connection despite being 30 feet away. I haven't had any loading issues at all when I get an instance or when I try to look at it. In terms of the video quality, these are 2K cameras, so they are pretty crisp. You can toggle between SD or Ultra HD. One of the things I found a little bit annoying was the audio quality. Although there's no problem on a calm day, when you get a lot of wind in the background, these cameras pick it all up. There is no noise cancellation at all built into these. But on more of a chill day, you can easily have a two-way conversation with the built-in speaker and microphone. So these are also full pan and tilt cameras that will track motion when they're turned on. Now, one thing I noticed about the motion detection software is it catches a lot of false negatives. Now, with some of the other systems I've had, they're pretty good at only turning on and only activating an instance when somebody walks in the camera frame or a vehicle or an animal. But this one has picked up the wind on my trees multiple times. Now, this isn't the biggest deal, but if you want to have your notifications on for your cameras, you don't want to get spammed with things that don't really matter. The built-in solar panel is angled perfectly to capture as much sun as possible. Here you can get a good look at what the spotlights look like during the day. And it also comes with night vision, and these are pretty bright at night, activating whenever somebody walks by. Now, one thing I always like to try out is the alarm to see how annoying it is. So if you ever need to activate it, you can. So I'd definitely say that passes the annoying test. I was actually really impressed with the app and how simple and easy it is to use. Here's a feature that they don't have on the Eufy app, which is a huge surprise to me. You can click this and you can actually customize what order your cameras are in. You can access each camera and pan and tilt them with these simple controls, and it's very responsive. And there is a ton of additional features to play around with. But I think this is one of the most unique features. It's called multicams. This allows you to view all 4 of your cameras at the same time. There's me waving to myself, but you can see it's easy to monitor your whole house. And look, it's even moving as I'm adjusting the cameras right here. So really one of the last things to address is the solar charging. Unfortunately, they don't list the wattage of the solar panel, but they do tell you 2 hours of indirect light a day is enough to keep it fully charged. One of my other problems is I was unable to find information on the actual battery life. So they do mention a lot that yes, this camera will forever stay charged, but that's not necessarily the case. Because if you live somewhere northern like me in Canada, during winter, you have those cold days combined with very little sun. And that means if that internal battery is not powerful enough, it will be completely drained at least a few times during the winter. Honestly, my only other problem with the system is the actual build quality. I'm not gonna say it is the best material in the world. It is definitely a cheaper plastic and it doesn't feel the sturdiest. But all that honestly is forgiven because of the price point. This system is nearly 2 times cheaper than a comparable system, the Eufy 4K camera kit. An extra bonus for this one because it actually has pan and tilt. It's only gonna run you around $400 USD, and that's without any discounts. I'm pretty comfortable recommending this camera to my viewers and probably giving it around a B+. If you don't have a very big budget and you need a camera set that can cover your whole house, in almost every situation, these 4 cameras are going to cover most properties. So thank you guys for checking out my new channel, Bad Tech. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting the subscribe button right down below. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on this new channel by the end of September. So let's see if we can hit it. I'll check you guys in the next one.